Hello, my friends. Good evening. I am back. I'm starting my second live stream today. Okay. I know some of you uh, watched my first live stream just, not too long ago, um, earlier this evening. And now I'm doing a second live stream. And I'm hoping that a lot of our friends will be tuning in for this one. Okay. Um, my friends, the question is what's going to happen next? That's the question that I'm asking, as you can see in the title of this live stream. It says volatility around Venezuela. What's going to happen next? I think it's a logical question to ask, given everything that's been going on regarding Venezuela. I think it's a logical question to ask because we are curious. Naturally, we want to know what's going to happen. My friends, when you look at the overall picture of the world, there are different things going on in different parts of the world, right? I mean, obviously, there's the Ukraine-Russia war going on. There's always some kind of tension in the Middle East, although things have gotten a lot better, obviously. But there's tension in the Middle East. Between India and Pakistan, two powerful countries, when you look at their military power, both are very powerful, Pakistan and India. And those two countries have a lot of tension going on between them. Okay. Sometimes we see flare-ups and things get really heated, and then things cool down. So earlier this year, which was the last time we saw like a spike in tension between India and Pakistan, President Trump intervened and helped achieve peace. Let's see how long that lasts, okay? Because there's a lot of tension in that part of the world. And then regarding Taiwan, there's always a question, what is China going to do? Is China going to make any kind of move regarding Taiwan? That's a question we have. And then, of course, Venezuela. What's going to happen with Venezuela? I mean, these are questions. When you look at the world, when you hold a map and look at all the different continents, all the different countries, and some places that are very peaceful, and in other places where there's ongoing tension. And as we look at the complete picture of the globe, we have to, because we are curious, human beings are curious in nature, and that's normal. When we see a tension, when we see rising tension, we want to ask, okay, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? So regarding Venezuela, that's my question. What's going to happen next? You may have seen the news that the United States Coast Guard has pursued a third oil tanker, okay, near Venezuela. Just recently, President Donald Trump announced a total blockade of sanctioned oil tankers entering and leaving Venezuela. Okay. If you remember, I'm going to read to you a post from President Trump. He posted this on Truth Social. This is dated December 16th of 2025. He wrote, Venezuela is completely surrounded by the largest largest armada ever assembled in the history of South America. And he said it will only get bigger, and the shock to them will be like nothing they have ever seen before. Okay. We know that President Trump means what he says. If he is issuing a warning, that warning has a lot of power. If President Trump is saying that he's going to do something, then you can be sure that he's going to do it. My friends, Venezuela is really surrounded by the largest armada ever assembled in the history of South America. And President Trump also called the Maduro regime illegitimate. And the Maduro regime is in a lot of trouble now because we have a real leader in the White House. And so President Trump ordered a total and complete blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers going into and out of Venezuela. And President Trump also said that the illegal aliens and criminals that the Maduro regime has sent into the United States during the weak and inept Biden administration are being returned to Venezuela at a rapid pace. That's true. I'm not reading the entire post. You can read it online. December 16, 2025. I'm reading to you the parts that I want to highlight. And this is a strong message, and I hope Maduro is listening. I hope Maduro is reading. I hope Maduro is processing this information, because if President Trump is saying something, he's going to do it. Remember when the first oil tanker was seized by the United States. It was not that long ago. Has it been like 2 weeks? Probably not, right? Probably not. Not that long ago. It was in December. And we're still in December. And then, okay, by the way, when that first oil tanker was seized, a lot of people wondered, like, okay, is it going to be just a one-time thing? Well, that question's been answered. No. A second oil tanker was seized. And now a third oil tanker is being intercepted. So, my friends, what I want to say is I hope that the Maduro regime is getting a strong message. I hope that Nicolas Maduro, by the way, anyone who's here and you've not been following the news and you're asking, Tassif, who's Maduro? I got a simple answer for you. I got a simple answer. Like, if you're asking me, who's Maduro? I mean, not everyone pays attention to what's happening around the world. A lot of people don't know who's the leader of which country. And that's okay. I mean, there are so many countries around the world, you can't possibly know everything. Like, who's the president, who's the prime minister, who's the king of what country. Not possible. So if anyone's asking me the question, who's Maduro? Well, I'm going to give you a very short answer. I'm not going to go into the biography of Nicolas Maduro. I'm not going to give you his whole history, information about how Maduro became what he became. Of course, we know he's the so-called president of Venezuela. But really, Maduro is, get ready for this, he's a brutal dictator. That's what he is. He can present himself in front of the world, as like the president of Venezuela, but we all know he's not the president. He's a brutal dictator. He's a brutal dictator. He's somebody who doesn't even care about the best interest of the people of his own country. Nicolas Maduro and his regime committed many crimes to suppress people, to suppress freedom of speech. The list is long. Human rights violations. If you and I are going to sit here and make a list of all the crimes that the Maduro regime committed, we're going to be here for a very long time, because the list is long. It's a long record of crimes and human rights violations. The people of Venezuela, they want bold leadership. They want democracy. The people of Venezuela are suffering. They want freedom. But they don't have freedom. You know why? Because Nicolas Maduro and his allies are in power. And Maduro calls himself the president, but he's a brutal dictator. So, is that enough introduction? Do you want to know more? My friends, I hope that the Maduro regime is getting a strong message. I hope Nicolas Maduro understands that sooner or later he has to depart from power. Does he think that he's going to be there as this so-called president forever? For decades to come, he's going to be in power with his buddies, suppressing the people, taking away people's freedom? Freedom of speech? Sooner or later, Nicolas Maduro has to depart from power. I hope that Nicolas Maduro understands that he cannot continue with his dictatorship. I hope Maduro understands that his days of being a brutal dictator are coming to an end. Think about the position of the Maduro regime. Think about the Maduro regime right now. What are they thinking? Knowing that the United States military is in that region in large numbers. US ships, US military, US jets, all in that region. What do you think Maduro regime, what do you think Nicolas Maduro is thinking right now? Is he feeling confident? Is he scared? Is he able to sleep at night? Why don't you give me an answer? What do you think Maduro is doing right now? I hope he understands that his days of, as I said, his days of being a brutal dictator are coming to an end. There is massive United States military buildup in that region, military personnel, military ships, jets, firepower surrounding Venezuela. Paying close attention to the Maduro regime, undoubtedly. It's good to see so many of our friends have tuned in today. We got Kristen, good to see you. We got Kay Cooper. Who do we have? We got Frank, we got Salerno, we got others. Anyone I missed? Thank you all for being here. We got Evelyn. Evelyn from Las Vegas. Evelyn, how's the weather in Vegas? I bet it's better than the weather in Wisconsin. Same for Kay. Texas should be better. Better weather. Evelyn says beautiful. Thank you. And I see some new names here. Okay. Wonderful. To all the new folks, please make sure that you're subscribing. I would appreciate that. Like this video. Share this video. To all the new folks who are tuning in, I got a recommendation for you. Why don't you copy a link to this live stream and go to your social media page, okay, and post it over there. Why don't you open up your email inbox and start a new email? Take a link to this live stream, put it in the body of an email, and send the email to your friends, family members, and your neighbors. Tell them about this channel. Invite them to watch a video. Invite them to watch a video and be a part of this community. I would appreciate that very, very much, okay? Everyone who's here. So, as I was saying, what's really going on right now, I think, is a slow draining of Maduro's resources and energy. By the way, Kay Cooper just wrote, "God bless America." Can we all repeat that? Can we all repeat what Kay Cooper just wrote? God bless America. God bless America. Right? God bless America. God bless USA. God bless the United States of America. Please write that, my friends. I would appreciate that. Show your patriotism. So, my friends, going back to the discussion of the Maduro regime, I think Maduro's resources and energy are being drained. The longer this goes on, the longer the blockade goes on, the weaker the Maduro regime is going to be. A lot of people are asking whether or not there will be direct on-the-ground military operation. Is the United States of America going to get involved militarily direct on the ground? Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think anyone, like, from the general public would know that. We do not know what our commander-in-chief is going to decide. But I can tell you that our commander-in-chief, President Donald J. Trump, he has the best and the brightest military leaders on his team. By the way, we're going to pause here for a second. You know why? We're going to pause here because I would like you all to write in the live chat. Show your support, my friends. Show your support for America's military service members. Say thank you, U.S. military. Please write that. Please write thank you, U.S. military. And also thank you, veterans. Those who served, veterans, we got to thank them. Thank you, veterans. Thank you, U.S. military. Thank you. And if you have family members who are serving in the Army, in the Navy, Marines, you can mention that in the live chat, and you know, just express your gratitude. I'm very grateful for the U.S. military, for everything that they do to protect us. Thank you all. Paul is here. Tommy Brown is here from Colorado. Tommy, how's the weather in Colorado? I was asking Evelyn just a short while ago how the weather is in Vegas, and Evelyn said it's beautiful. So I was asking Kay Cooper also. I think Kay also said it's good, right, Kay? The weather is good in Texas, I'm sure. So, Tommy, I hope everything's going great in Colorado. Tommy says it almost feels like summer. Tommy, it feels like summer in Colorado, and it's cold here in Wisconsin. All right. Okay, so as I was saying, my friends, just going back to the discussion, President Trump has the best and the brightest military leaders on his team. Oh, by the way, I see NC is here. NC, is this NC from New Jersey? Is this the same NC from New Jersey? Anyway, every time I see a screen name pop up, a screen name that I probably haven't seen in a while, maybe a friend of this community who tunes in after a long time, I just want to say hello and welcome back. Anyone here? I haven't seen AC Cruz in a while. Have you seen AC from Arizona? AC, are you listening? All right. Okay. Yeah, where's AC Cruz? Our friend AC. AC, if you're listening to us, please write a comment or something. Let us know how you're doing. I haven't seen AC's name in a while. What about Claudia Greenwood? Claudia Greenwood. Michael Brown was here just a few days ago. And there are so many others. I haven't seen Crockett in a while. Where's Crockett? Anyway, Laura Floyd. Is Laura Floyd here? What about Teresa Ross? Teresa, are you watching? Okay, hopefully our friends will come back. All right, okay. So let me continue. We don't know what our commander-in-chief will decide regarding Venezuela, what the next action will be, but as I've said before, I'm repeating again, President Trump has the best and the brightest military leaders on his team. And also we have Pete Hegseth as the Secretary of War. He's a strong patriot. He's a highly intelligent, highly capable individual. And I think I've said this before, that I was very happy when he was chosen to be the Secretary of Defense, now renamed Secretary of War, okay? So what's going to be the Trump administration's next move regarding Venezuela? I do not know. If anyone has any idea, you can let me know. And we can try to guess, but we won't know for sure. Now, there's one thing that I'm going to highlight. You got to keep this in mind. Hold on a second. Okay. All right, let's see. I see a lot of new names here today. Oh, that's great. I hope you all are subscribing. Okay. It is quite clear that the Trump administration will apply tremendous pressure on Nicolas Maduro. So he's not going to have any other option. Maduro is not going to have any other option but to make an exit from his position of power. I mean, I guess at this point he just has that position. He's the so-called president of Venezuela. He doesn't have any real power. Maduro doesn't have any real power at this point, not after the blockade, not after the U.S. military buildup in the region. He has that title president. I hope it makes him feel great, but he has no real power. I know that the Trump administration will continue to apply pressure. And Maduro is not going to have any other option but to exit. Keep in mind, my friends, listen. What I'm going to say to you next is very important. So I hope you're paying attention. President Trump is the peacemaker. He's not in favor of war. He's not in favor of armed conflict. President Trump wants to ensure peace. So, to those who are asking, is there going to be a war against Venezuela? Are we going to war? Is it going to be US versus Venezuela war? Let me tell you, President Trump is not a leader who wants to rush into a war. These are decisions that cannot be made lightly. These are decisions that require tremendous thinking, tremendous analysis. Because when you go to war, there are so many different possibilities, right? It's more complicated than just win or lose. Okay, we go to war. Do we win? Do we lose? It's not that easy. These are very, very tough decisions that have to be made. You have to understand all possibilities. So I don't think that President Trump is looking to wage a war. He's trying to help establish peace in the region. But sometimes, to get to peace, you need strong military action. And you can see that President Trump, although he has all kinds of military resources in the region, he's not taking hasty steps. He's not saying, oh, let's just go to war. No. Because when we do that, there are so many lives that are involved. You know, our troops, our military personnel. And also, you got to think about the economy, not just the US economy, but the global economy. A military action anywhere, especially if the United States is involved, if a country like Venezuela is involved, any direct confrontation, any kind of action that increases tension will have an impact on the global economy. It may be reflected in the US stock market. You're probably going to see the stocks fluctuate. And that's why you have to think about the economic aspects and take decisions after a lot of careful consideration. And once again, as I was saying, President Trump is not in favor of war. But sometimes military action is highly necessary. But if you go out there and say, oh, you know what, no matter what, we're not gonna go to war, that's also not a sound statement, because then you're going to send a message to the adversaries that, oh, US is not gonna wage any war no matter what. So you don't want to say that. All options will have to be on the table. But the expectation would be that we're going to follow the peaceful process. And that's why President Trump is using the economic power, sanctions, and blockade and all that. But if necessary, President Trump will take military action, if necessary, if it gets to that point. And that's why it's up to Maduro now to think what he's going to do. What choices does Maduro have? What options does he have? What are the possibilities? What if Maduro just continues with the status quo? What's going to happen? The blockade? All the military, oil tankers being seized? What's going to happen to the Venezuela economy? That's why I said sooner or later, Maduro has to depart from power. There's no other option. Oh, I see Claudette is here. Hello, Claudette. Claudette is here. Wow, good to see Claudette. Claudette doesn't agree with me. That's all right, Claudette. Claudette probably now realizes that I was right about the November 2024 election. I had said, before the election, I had said that I feel confident. I talked about MAGA. I talked about the power of this movement. I talked about America first. I said that we're going to make America great again. And we are. Claudette, anyone who thought that Kamala would win, now you know. It did not happen. Edwin is here. Edwin, good to see you. Look what Edwin wrote. Edwin wrote Trump. I love that. I love that. So my friends, let's see. Anyone else is here? Claudette, where are you? Are you gone? I just saw your comment. Hold on a second. I'm trying to catch up with folks here. Salerno, thank you so much. Salerno writes, Toss, if you're a great patriot. Thank you, Salerno. I appreciate that so very much. Claudette is saying, I'm here really sad about all that's happening. Claudette, I understand your sadness, Claudette. I understand your sadness. You know what? The problems can be solved. All that Maduro has to do is depart from power. He just has to give up power, Claudette. Do you understand that? Everything that's happening, all the blockade and everything, you know, all of this wouldn't be necessary. Maduro would just have to surrender, depart from power, exit. Let democracy be established in Venezuela. Maduro, all that he has to do is surrender and just leave. Give up power. Take his allies with him. Let democracy be established in Venezuela, because that's what the Venezuelan people want. They want democracy. They want democracy. So Claudette, I hope whatever I'm saying makes sense. I hope you agree with me, Claudette. I know you don't agree with me on, you know, a lot of different things, but maybe this one you will. Maybe you're going to say, Tossif, what you're saying makes sense. I kind of agree with you. Yeah. Yeah, you know, there could be a peaceful way to solve this. If only Maduro would just depart from power, give up his power, dissolve the authoritarian regime, and let free and fair elections take place, and let the people of Venezuela choose their representatives, and let democracy thrive. And then Venezuela would be on its way towards prosperity. There can be a peaceful solution, Claudette. I hope you understand that. I hope you'll agree with me now. Claudette didn't agree with me a whole lot before November 2024, but maybe this time. Maybe this time. Tommy Brown agrees with me. Tommy, thank you. Thank you, Tommy. Appreciate that very much. Hold on a second. Let me just catch up with the live chat here a little bit. Let me scroll back a bit here. All right. Yes, Salerno is correct. Salerno, you are right. Venezuela was a wealthy country once. And the question is, What happened? You know what happened? Authoritarian regime happened. Socialism happened. Okay? Socialism, authoritarian regime, that's what happened to Venezuela. It was a very prosperous country once upon a time, very beautiful, great economy. People were happy. Socialism happened, authoritarian regime happened, and look now. So listen, what the Trump administration is doing is actually going to help the people of Venezuela, the innocent people of Venezuela who want freedom, who want a free society, who want liberty, who want freedom of speech. So the Trump administration is helping the general public of Venezuela by taking strong action against the Maduro regime. Does that make sense? Thank you all. Thank you all. Please like this video if you agree with my viewpoints, if you want to support this channel. Like this video. I would appreciate that. Thank you all. So, my friends, you can see that the Trump administration is exercising patience. There's no war taking place on the ground in Venezuela. There's no direct military-to-military combat taking place. But there's tremendous show of force. Our great U.S. military has been taking action against the drug boats, launching strikes against the drug boats. And that's great decision. That's excellent move. And taking those ships, the oil tankers, that's great. That is great decision. Because what's going on right now is a tremendous show of force. Our military has been taking action against sanctioned oil. I think we must be happy that our country, the United States of America, is in good hands. We got a real commander-in-chief who knows what he is doing. Edwin says, "Mega, thank you." Thank you so much, Edwin, for writing that. Thank you all. So, my friends, the question I'm going to ask you is, the way the Trump administration has been handling affairs pertaining to Venezuela, are you happy with that approach? Are you happy with the way the Trump administration has been dealing with this issue? I know freedom-loving Americans, what they're going to tell me. I already know the answer. They're going to say, Tausif. You know the answer. It's yes. It's yes, because we finally have an administration that actually knows international relations, knows negotiations, knows what kind of actions to take, knows how to deal with allies, knows how to respond to adversaries. My friends, we're going to be talking about Venezuela more. I've talked about this issue before. In fact, I also published a blog post If you go to tausifanam.net, you'll be able to read that. It was published on December 11th, 2025, so, 10 days ago. And the title of that blog post is, Will Nicolas Maduro Depart from Power? You can go read that if you want. And at the very beginning of that blog post, I wrote, when studying and analyzing geopolitical issues, it is hard to make predictions. Here's the thing you have to keep in mind. Nicolas Maduro is in office through coercion, by using force, not through free and fair election. Nicolas Maduro, he is the so-called president. How is he still holding on to that title? Do you think that he was elected through a free and fair election? No. He's in power through coercion. And I wrote in my blog post, if you read that Maduro continues to suppress the rights and freedom of the people of Venezuela. This brutal dictator has inflicted tremendous pain and suffering on the people of Venezuela. And I also wrote in that blog post that I'm so happy to see President Trump deploying military resources in the region to send a message to Maduro and his authoritarian regime that they may be in a lot of trouble. Now, Venezuela obviously is not alone. We know Venezuela has support. You know who's supporting Maduro? Can anyone make a guess? Give me one name of a country or a leader who's supporting Maduro. Russia. That's right. Vladimir Putin supporting Nicolas Maduro. Just see what Putin is doing in that part of the world. People are dying as the Ukraine-Russia war goes on. People are dying every day as this war goes on. So many lives lost. We don't even know how many. The number changes every day because people are dying. My friends, what I wrote towards the end of that blog post, I'm going to read that to you. I wrote, it is time for all political analysts, commentators, foreign policy experts, economists, and others with an interest in international relations to closely observe the geopolitical events of the next few days, weeks, and months. And I wrote that on December 11th of 2025. I asked everyone to pay attention to the events of the next few days, weeks, and months, and look how much has happened since then over the last 10 days. More oil tankers seized. At the time that I wrote it, one oil tanker was seized. And after that, another was seized, and then another being pursued. So, I hope you read my blog post, in addition to listening to my live streams and podcast episodes. Thank you all. Thank you all. Listen. All that we want is peace. We want peace around the world. All that the people of Venezuela want is peace. In fact, if there's a stable government in Venezuela, a government elected in a free and fair manner, Venezuela could once again be prosperous. Venezuela could once again have great relationship with other countries. Right now, Venezuela is very limited. It is a very problematic place. And they don't have a lot of allies other than, folks like Vladimir Putin. And it's all because of this regime, this dictatorship. And so Venezuela, if Venezuela wants to be prosperous, Maduro has to depart from power. Free and fair elections will have to take place. And only then there will be stable government. Thank you all. Thank you all. Second live stream today. Can you believe that? Second live stream. I published 3 podcast episodes yesterday. I hope you saw those. If not, then do that, please, afterwards. Steven's here from Illinois. Steven, good to see you. Thank you all. Kay Cooper missed my first live stream today. Kay, you can check it out afterwards. No problem. No problem. All right, my friends. That's all I have for today. And do you have any questions for me? If not, I'm going to wrap this up here very soon. If you have no questions, let me know. All right. Okay. No questions. I don't see any questions. Okay. Thank you all so very much. Let's see what happens. But I'm going to tell you one thing again, that we have the greatest commander-in-chief in charge, and whatever decision he makes regarding Venezuela, whatever decision President Trump makes, I have full confidence in President Trump that he's going to do the right thing. All right. Thank you so very much, my friends. Please stay connected to my channel. I'm going to be back again with more videos and live streams. And thank you so very much. Thank you for being here. God bless you all. God bless President Donald J. Trump. God bless the Trump administration. God bless the Republicans in Washington. God bless the United States of America. God bless our U.S. allies. And God bless freedom-loving people all over the world. Thank you so very much, my friends. Have a great night. I'm going to be back again very soon. Thank you.